Congress is expected to address funding and support for Israel after an unprecedented attack from Iran. 300 drones and missiles fired by Tehran. The U.S. helped take down nearly all of them.
Meantime, President Biden will meet today with the prime ministers of Iraq and the Czech Republic after he told Israel that the U.S. would not participate in any possible counterattack against Iran. You're watching Fox and Friends First here on a Monday morning. I'm Todd Pyro.
And I'm Carly Shimkus. We have team coverage this morning. Congressman Corey Mills will be joining us, along with former U.S. Defense Intelligence Officer Rebekah Koffler.
But we begin with Madeline Rivera live in Washington. Maddie.
Good morning, Carly and Todd. The president is facing two tall tasks when he meets with the prime ministers of Iraq and the Czech Republic today. He's working to maintain the international coalition of support for Ukraine. At the same time, he's trying to de-escalate the situation in the Middle East after that unprecedented attack by Iran against Israel over the weekend. President Biden says the U.S. will step in to help Israel defend itself. What he says the U.S. won't do is participate in a counteroffensive if Israel does launch one against Iran. Louisiana Senator John Kennedy has some tough words for the president.
With respect, go to Amazon and buy a spine online. Peace through weakness never works, not with these hard men. Israel's not at war with Hamas or Hezbollah or Yemen. Those are all surrogates for Iran. Israel is at war with Iran. Iran hates Americans. Iran hates Jews. Iran wants to kill Americans and Jews.
They have made
and
that
if we
clear.
turn the other cheek to them, we're going to get it in the neck.
On Fox News Sunday, Shannon Bream pressed National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby about a sanctions waiver that allows Iraq to continue buying electricity from Iran. The move gives Iran access to about $10 billion, which the Biden administration says can only be used for humanitarian goods. The State Department says the waiver was initiated under the Trump administration, whom the White House is accusing of emboldening Iran.
It's hard to take a look at what President Biden has done and say that we've somehow gone soft on Iran. It was the previous administration that decided to get us out of the Iran deal, and now Iran is so much dramatically closer to a potential nuclear weapon capability than they were before Mr. Trump was elected.
The president will also be talking about helping Iraq with the lasting defeat of ISIS during his conversation with the prime minister today. Carly and Todd.
All right, Madeline Rivera live for us in Washington. Maddie, thank you. Let's bring in Rebekah Koffler, former U.S. Defense Intelligence Officer. Rebekah, good morning to you. You say the importance of how Israel responds cannot be understated. So what are the options on the table here? And ultimately, what do you think they're going to do?
Well, first of all, Israel must respond forcefully, because what Iran has done, it crossed Israel's red line by striking directly inside Iran. This has never happened before. It's a huge departure from Iran's warfighting doctrine. So what Israel must do, it must convince Iran that the benefit that they derive from that attack is completely erased by the cost that Israel will impose on them. So we are talking something along the lines of attacking Iranian nuclear program infrastructure, right? Something that is a military target, supporting command and control and leadership, supporting oil infrastructure, something very significant. There's a concept that is called unacceptable damage in warfare. That's what they must do.
Biden said don't. Iran did. Coincidence that this happened, this finally crossing of the red line by Iran on Joe Biden's watch?
It's 100% predictable, Todd. Yes, a whole roster of officials from the Biden administration went in and on the record said, don't. And the Iranians went ahead and they did that anyway. What does it tell you? That nobody respects Biden. That has huge implications in the strategic stability of the entire world. If Iran doesn't listen, that means Russia. China does not listen. Why is that? It's because everything that President Biden and his team have done so far is the opposite of what one must do to convince your adversary not to escalate, right? Biden tried to micromanage Benjamin Netanyahu and how the Israelis conduct their warfighting operations. He released $6 billion to Iranian, basically enriching them. Where does that money go? Of course it goes towards their military operation.
Right.
Biden also did not respond in any meaningful way after the Iranian proxies attacked 170 times. The U.S. forces giving them brain damage.
Right.
Okay, so no one respects him. And what my concern is, what is coming next after the red lines is crossed?
Well, that's the big question. And you mentioned Israel attacking on Iranian soil, the nuclear sites. So if that does happen, if they do take that option, will that be a deterrent or will that escalate things?
Well, they must out-escalate, right? They must out-escalate, not de-escalate to convince Iran. Now, there are various ways of striking nuclear sites, right? Nuclear program support sites. There's a non-kinetic attack. We're brilliant at that. We have a tremendous cyber capability. We've used it before during the Obama administration. So it doesn't need to necessarily go boom, right? Although that's what the viewers, and the populations of those countries look for. It has to be something convincing. But the only entity that you need to convince is the Iranian leadership. Mm-hmm. And if those nuclear centrifuges stop, that is going to send a very, very strong signal.
Yeah, there are a lot of options on the table, and we wait to see which one Israel will choose. Rebekah, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.